The headlines, deadlines and penalties for those who do not clean up their overgrown lots. A call for health and safety issues in schools to be managed internally. Better communication promise as it relates to road works. And in sports, hope Greaves and Campbell come good with their bats, but Windies on the brink of a series sweep against India.
The headline news is brought to you by National Transformation Initiative, shaping the Starbajan.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Tisha Hines with the details to the news. We start tonight with news that government is stepping up its efforts to arrest the vexing situation of overgrown lots, creating major public health risks all across the island. From next month, landowners with overgrown lots will be issued with abatement notices to get their properties cleaned up within 3 weeks. And if they don't, government will step in and do it and pass on the costs to the landowners, who will also have to pay a penalty for failing to comply. These new rules are outlined in an operational plan to address overgrown vegetation on housing lots. The plan was announced today at the Ministry of Environment, National Beautification and the Blue and Green Economy. Our Anesta Henry has more on that story.
In the past, landowners would have been able to take as long as they want to comply with abatement notices to clean their overgrown lots. But that will no longer be the case. From November 1st, they will have 21 days to comply with the notices issued by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Project Officer of the Operational Plan to Address Overgrown Vegetation on Housing Lots, Ronald Chapman, says if the property is not cleaned within the specified 3 weeks, the landowner will get an administrative penalty of $300. And they will also have to pay an additional $10 for every day or part thereof the land remains overgrown.
Within this program, to ensure that we get the property cleaned, those lots are then handed over to the Ministry of Environment, where the NCC will go ahead and clean the lots. Once those lots have been cleaned, then we verify and the bill is sent to the person who owns the lots.
The new plan also prioritizes which lots will be cleaned first.
So the lots which we recognize as either a health risk, a significant health risk, or a security risk will be those lots we try to deal with it quickly.
Landowners issued with a notice have the right to apply to a relief board if they have financial or physical constraints or may need extra time to get the lots cleaned because of weather conditions. Touted as a cleanup campaign, the plan is a collaboration between the Ministry of Health and Wellness and the Ministry of Environment, National Beautification and the Blue and Green Economy. Minister of Environment and National Beautification, Adrian Ford, says the plan will also target state-owned properties.
This is not a do as I say and not as I do government. I just want Barbadians and every single person in listening scope of my voice to understand one of the most important things is that government must pass the litmus test for every single person as it relates to their properties.
And Minister of State in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Davidson Ishmael, says these plans are being implemented at this stage to reduce vector-borne diseases.
Because a lot of these persons find their way where? At the hospital, at the A&E, when their symptoms become very harsh. So, and then what happens there is that when they are receiving care, it then creates then in some cases a bottleneck in the system, which then can affect other persons who are coming in for other cases as well.
The plan operationalizes the Health Services Regulations 2024 as it relates to overgrown vegetation on housing lots. It sets out a 3-week public sensitization campaign starting this week. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
So you have ample time to get those lots cleaned. Now, people coming to Barbados under the CARICOM full free movement regime will have to meet all job requirements before they can work here. Minister of Home Affairs and Information Wilfred Abrams made that clear in Parliament today as he led off debate on the Caribbean Community Free Movement of Nationals Bill 2025. The full free movement regime began on October 1st and includes Barbados, Belize, Dominica, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
I don't know how much clearer I can make it. If you are a doctor and you want to work in Barbados by the full free movement, you have to satisfy all the requirements for being a doctor. If your degree is one that is not recognized by BAMP, or your qualification is one that is not recognized by, it don't matter that you practice in St. Vincent as a cardiothoracic surgeon. If you come here and BAMP does not recognize that, you can't practice in Barbados as a cardiothoracic surgeon. You can come and live, you can come and do something else. You can come and practice as a GP if we accept that qualification. But all of the requirements for working in Barbados that Bajans have to do, all the boxes we have to tick, the persons coming in, the nationals, the free-moving nationals, have to tick those as well, sir.
Minister Abrams says each CARICOM national will be given an identification card to access emergency and healthcare services. However, he's cleared up the misconception of CARICOM nationals being given ID cards to be able to vote.
All Commonwealth nationals who reside in Barbados for a period of 3 years or more, and not a resident, like a permanent resident, residing is a matter of fact. All who have resided in Barbados for 3 years or more are entitled to vote. Commonwealth nationals also includes the bulk of the Caribbean and most of the people under CARICOM scale national status. So as it stands now, the bulk of CARICOM, if they came to Barbados and they lived for 3 years, they can vote. Nothing has changed.
Still in the lower house, opposition leader Ralph Thorne is, however, questioning the absenteeism of 3 major countries in the region, namely Jamaica, Guyana, and Trinidad and Tobago. He says this appears to be history repeating itself with the lack of participation from Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago in the full free movement regime, which began on October 1st.
You cannot discuss CARIFTA and then CARICOM and the Caribbean single market and economy unless you discuss those 3 countries. In addition to Barbados, who were at the foundation of the modern regional institutional arrangement. I say institutional arrangement because my reference is obviously to CARIFTA cum CARICOM. And not a word from this government, not a word. The people of Barbados are entitled to an explanation as to why this movement, or rather, I correct myself, as to whether this movement lacks its credibility for the absence of those 3 important countries.
Health and safety concerns at schools should be handled internally through health and safety committees before escalating to industrial action. This is the opinion of Deputy Chief Education Officer Julia Beckles, who's calling for health and safety committees at all schools to be active. Ms. Beckles was speaking at an awareness building session for health and safety committee chairpersons at the Erdison Teachers Training College. The Deputy Chief Education Officer says there's a need for schools to be fit for purpose as the Ministry of Educational Transformation rolls out its ongoing education reform agenda. And she says active health and safety teams at schools will assist with ensuring school plants are indeed fit for staff and students alike.
We are hoping that we will be able to foster that culture of collaboration on safety, which will see matters of safety being dealt with at the level of the school before they have to be reported to the union or even to us. Because in some cases, there are matters that can be fixed once management and the health and safety committees work together to bring resolution.
The Deputy Chief says it's important for schools to be fit for purpose as the Ministry of Educational Transformation rolls out its ongoing education reform agenda. And she says active health and safety teams at schools will assist with ensuring school plans are fit for students.
All schools have health and safety committees, and in that regard we can say that as it relates to the law, they have been stood up. In terms of who is actually doing, what they're supposed to do in terms of walkthroughs and checking, we don't have that information, but we can tell you that all schools have health and safety committees, and we are hoping that after today and some other interventions that we are going to put in place, that all of them we will have 100% excited and forging ahead, ensuring that we have that culture of collaboration as it relates to safety and disaster risk reduction.
Coming up, promises of better communication with regards to road works. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Transport and Works Santia Bradshaw is promising better communication with the public about roadworks taking place across the island. While acknowledging there's been a breakdown in communication at times, she says officials are working to ensure the public is informed in real time of all ongoing works. She was speaking during a St. Michael West Central branch meeting at Lawrence CA Memorial Primary School last evening.
That coordinated approach is something that we haven't quite gotten right yet. We're working on the IT to be able to make sure that when there's a break in the road, Light and Power can place in an app that they're breaking X road. MTW will know, the water company will know, everybody, MPC will know. Right now, the coordination in terms of that communication, we are trying to strengthen that because it is, despite all the best efforts, we haven't gotten it quite right as yet. We do have a plan for a Street Works Act, which would bring into place some of these fines as well, which would allow persons, the utility companies, to pay attention and in a sense have consequences for not informing the MTW about works that they are undergoing in a particular district as well.
Every Christian is called to follow Jesus Christ and serve God the Father through the power of the Holy Spirit. That reminder from Anglican Bishop of Barbados, the Right Reverend Michael Maxwell, as he delivered the charge during the ordination of 8 new deacons. The service took place at St. Michael's Cathedral. Among those attending were Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley, members of the clergy, family and friends. Bishop Maxwell outlined the essential requirements and responsibilities of a deacon.
A deacon is to strengthen the faithful, search out the careless and the indifferent, and to preach the word of God as duly authorized by the bishop. As a deacon in the church, you are to study the Holy Scriptures, to seek nourishment from them, and to model your life upon them. By your word and example, you are to make Christ and his redemptive love known to those among whom you live and work and worship, and to interpret to the church their needs, concerns, and hopes. You are to assist the bishop and priests in public worship and in the administration of God's word and sacraments, and in carrying out other duties assigned to you from time to time.
20 students have qualified to move on to the finals of the Ministry of Educational Transformation Pontifications in Poetry 2025 competition. The speech and poetry contests will feature primary school students aged 9 to 11 years old and secondary school students aged 11 to 18 years old, and will be held under the patronage of Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley sometime in November. This year's competition is themed Speak Up, Speak Out. Education Officer Gloria Haynes, who announced the names of the finalists during a ceremony held at the ministry, says the national oratorical competition empowers Barbadian youths to express themselves through speech and poetry.
We are now in our third year, and this 2025 competition continues to serve as a platform for students to express their views on national, regional, and global issues while honing their public speaking and creative writing skills. This year's theme, Speak Up, Speak Out, challenges participants to use their voices to advocate for change, share their stories, and inspire their communities. Our objectives include, the competition aims to empower students to become articulate, confident communicators.
Participants in the Mr. Executive 2026 Inter-School Business and Gentlemen's Challenge have been encouraged to make the most of the opportunities presented to them. The call from the founder of the program, Winston Cumberbatch, during his welcome and introductory remarks at the launch of the new program held today at Solidarity House. Trevor Thorpe was there.
The founder of the program says he is pleased with the development of the Mr. Executive Challenge and the support it has received.
Although we have stages that you go through, which I'll share later, the truth is this program is a developmental program, first step. Because once you have registered and have started, you will not be the same again. You will not be the same again. I can't see any person, as Celeste Foster will tell you this, I cannot see any person going through this program may not reach the semifinals, may not reach the finals, and have gone back the same way. There's so much that you gain from this initiative. And the young men that you see sitting there, they will give you a chance to understand what it is that you really can gain.
Director of Personal and Business Banking at CBC Caribbean, Michelle Whitelaw, says the Mr. Executive Challenge aligns with the bank's philosophy. She emphasized that the bank wants to be part of the participants' success and is once again offering internships to participants.
It is not just counting money at all. That visit will open you to careers in customer service, IT, accounting, legal, marketing, property management, data management, cybersecurity, many areas that you did not even imagine existed in a bank.
Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment, Joy Adamson, reiterated the ministry's support for the Mr. Executive program while informing of the ministry's mentorship program to support the participant.
The Ministry of Youth, Sport and Community Empowerment is satisfied that this program, the inputs, the deliverables, the outputs that you have demonstrated, the involvement of the stakeholders are all designed to enhance the social development skills of the participants. The ministry supports excellence among our young people, and it has made significant financial investment to provide the infrastructure for young people to be the best that they can be.
A total of 22 schools have signed on to the 2026 program. Trevor Thorpe for the Business Report.
Cooperators General Insurance will be hosting a free defensive driving program for all policyholders on November 1st. That's according to Marketing Officer Cheryl Ford, who says drivers need to pay more attention when using the roads. She says that in too many cases, people are distracted and not mentally prepared before getting behind the wheels of their vehicles. And Ms. Ford advises those interested in the defensive driving program to sign up by October 20th.
Sometimes it's not, person's not ability to use the road, it's people not sensitive enough and they're not driving defensively. Everybody believes that they're the best drivers. You start to get behind the wheel, you're a better driver than anybody else, and you do a lot of foolishness. You take a lot of things for granted. You're distracted so easily. So they would say, okay, you need to get somebody to come and teach you how to use the road. Sometimes it's not about using the road, it's your intellect as well.
Sports Night is brought to you by Power Inn, Pause is Power, and by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after.
And Damien is back for the second half of sports. Welcome back.
Yeah, thanks so much, Tisha. Well, top Barbadian drafts player Raina Neverson is in the lead after 3 rounds of the Women's World Go As You Please title challenge. Pinning in Trocette, Italy. Neverson is first on 8 points, while another Bajan, Wilma Branch, is fourth on 4. Meanwhile, former world champion Ronald Suki King is in third place after the first 2 rounds of the men's World Go As You Please qualifiers. King is on 6 points and he trails 2 Italians in leader Claudio Ciampari on 7 points and Luciano Cassiano also on 6. There are 4 other Barbadian players at the qualifier. Jack Francis is 5th on 6 points, Colin Price 7th on 5, while Kent Lane and Junior Waldron are tied 11th on 4 points. Well, the National Sports Council Cooperators General Insurance Senior Basketball Tournament officially got underway this evening. This year's competition will see 12 schools compete for the title. CBC's Anne Margaret Boyce has more.
14 teams are set to compete in this year's competition, which will tip off on October 13th. And once again, the school's senior basketball tournament is sponsored by Cooperators General Insurance. Business Development and Marketing Officer Sabrina Blackman highlighted the importance of the school's basketball competition in providing the avenue for players to progress to the next level.
Our hope is that this school's senior basketball tournament will act as a pathway for players to transition into the combined schools team, which competes in the Premier League. For those who may not make it into the combined schools team, we encourage you to remain engaged with your local community teams and continue developing your skills. Sports is not just about winning, it's about growth, teamwork, and commitment.
Deputy Director at the National Sports Council, Emerson Bascom, encouraged the players to compete fairly and to the best of their ability.
I expect that you will have a very robust competition. There's nothing wrong with competing fiercely, but make sure that you do it fairly. Have respect for your peers, for the coaches, for the officials, and have respect for yourself. Make sure that at the end of this competition you can feel proud of your achievements.
The opening ceremony also included a skills competition won by Harrison College, while Providence were the shooting champions. Anmar Goodrich Boyce, CBC Sports.
Well, thanks, Anmar. Barbadian shooters have gained 5 spots for next year's Central American and Caribbean Games to be held in Dominican Republic. The shooting team will comprise 4 females and 1 male. Tisona Aline qualified for the women's 25-meter pistol, Brodella Ramtree, Ciela Walcott, and Kamara Williams in the women's 10-meter air rifle. Additionally, Dave Seal will compete in the men's 10-meter air pistol and also the 25-meter rapid-fire pistol. The shooting team joins 4 other national teams in hockey men and women, netball and squash, who have already qualified for the games. Next year's CAC Games also acts as an Olympic qualifier for LA 28. Top Barbadian table tennis player Tyrese Knight has been eliminated from the International Table Tennis Federation's Pan American Championships at the round of 64 stage. Playing at Rock Hill in South Carolina, United States, Knight lost to the number 1 ranked player Isaac Villa of Dominican Republic in straight sets, 12-10, 12-10, 11-4, 11-9.
24 teams are entered in this island's top semi-professional football tournament. CBC Sports takes a look at the squads vying for the Prime Minister's Cup. Brought to you by Power Aid, Pause is Power, and Dasani. Live first, Dasani after.
Local second division powerhouses Parish Land have been assigned Group F in the 2025 edition of the Prime Minister's Cup competition. The Christchurch-based squad reached the knockout stage in 2024 before they were eliminated by Wharton FC 3-0. As runners-up in Group A, Parish Land registered a 5-0 win over St Andrew Lions, then lost 3-1 to Deacons before playing to a 1-1 draw with Notre Dame. Head coach Marcellus Babb hopes he can change the script this season with more focus on some key areas.
Well, some of the areas is basically fitness. In some players there's technique, in other players there's like ball handling. But overall we're pretty good. But some guys are low confidence as well. But that'll be worked on as well. We played 2 systems basically, the 4-2-3-1 and the 4-3-3. But we interchange as the opponents. We read the opponents and interchange.
Forwards Janash Junai and Jamar Watson Cummins hope to lead the squad by example.
A way to achieve most goals, assists, something.
Just to win it,
to be honest. That's it. That's to win it.
Parishland lost to Wales in their opening fixture this season and also have Whitehall Titans and Deacons FC in their group for company.
And that's news. Thank you so much for viewing. On behalf of the entire team, do enjoy the rest of your night.